Oracle Fusion Cloud EPM provides intelligent performance management, integrated directly in your applications. This helps to inform your planning decisions with predictive capabilities and accelerate insight discovery with financial pattern recognition. To enable IPM Insights, click Application, then Settings. In the Enable AI section, select Generative AI to enable the ability to automatically generate narrative summaries for a single insight or group of insights. In this tutorial, you learn how to complete these steps to configure and manage IPM Insights and review and analyze results. Configure calendars and events, configure IPM Insights, run insights, and manage tags. You can define calendars and events to associate with insights to improve the accuracy of insights. A calendar defines the scope and range of the time series for selected cubes. To define a calendar, select IPM, then Configure. From the Actions menu, select Calendar. On the Calendar tab, select Add Calendar. Provide a name and description for the calendar. Select the cube or cubes the calendar applies to. Specify the time definition for the calendar by selecting the year and period for the start of the calendar. You can select specific members or use substitution variables. Time includes the entire range of historical and future periods required for the predictions. In the current column, specify the start of the prediction period. The previous period is the end of historical data. You can select substitution variables, so the prediction picks up the period and year based on substitution variable setup. This ensures that you don't have to change the calendar every period. Enter the number of historical and future periods. The number of historical and future periods you enter must result in member selections that are within the range defined for the calendar. Click Submit to complete the calendar. Once you have defined a calendar, you can select the calendar to edit it or use the Actions menu to delete or edit it. Events are associated with calendars. Each calendar can have multiple events. To define an event, select Events from the Actions menu. Select Add Event. Enter a name and description for the event. Select the type of event. One-off is an event you don't expect to be repeated, but you want to include it in your data. Repeat is an event that is regularly repeated, where increases or decreases will also be repeated. For example, holidays such as Diwali or Thanksgiving are repeating events. Skip, like a one-off event, is an event you don't expect to be repeated. However, you don't want to include it in your data. Data for skip events is removed from the series. For this example, select Repeat. Select the calendar. Specify the start date for the event. Enter the event duration, which is the number of periods the event is valid. For example, in this monthly calendar, the duration is 1, indicating the event occurred for a month. For regularly repeating events, enter the interval for the repeat. For regularly repeating events, the interval should be a number that indicates after how many days, weeks, or months the event repeats. In this example, Thanksgiving repeats after 12 months. In the Occurrences column, enter specific details about when the event occurs. Events are automatically set in active status. You can clear the checkbox to make an event inactive. Only active events are taken into consideration during predictions. Save and close the event. The next step is to configure IPM Insights. On the Configure tab, click Create. Enter a name and description. Select the type of insight to generate. Forecast Variance and Bias Insights reveals hidden bias in forecasts submitted by planners by analyzing historical data. It measures the variance or bias between two historical scenarios, such as forecasts and actuals. Anomaly Insights detect outlier values that vary widely from other values. For this example, select Anomaly Insights. Click Next to select the calendar. When you select a calendar, the historical data section is populated with details from the selected calendar. On the Define Slice page, Define the slice of data to analyze for historical data. On the Configure page, define the error tolerance and thresholds for insights. Select whether to include events in the insights calculation. On the Settings page, configure the settings that define how to display the insights to planners. Select the dimensions that you will use to navigate and analyze the insights. The dimensions you select will display on the Insights dashboard. When insights are displayed on the Insights dashboard, the impact magnitude threshold setting categorizes insights into high, medium, and low groups based on the percentage or absolute value impact calculated for each insight. This helps planners focus attention on the insights that have more extreme variations. Save the insight. The next step is to run the insight. Review insight jobs on the Jobs page. You can see the job status and the associated subjobs, if any, for each type of insight. Select the job to view details. Select the insight to view details about the insight generation, including how many insights were generated for each insight type. To view the insights, return to the home page and select IPM, then Insights. You can add filters to refine the list of insights. View details for the insight. Review and analyze the insight in a dashboard to determine the appropriate action to take. Click Show Explainability and Comments to view additional details for the AI-generated insight. Add comments if desired. Click Open as Ad Hoc to view and manage the data in a grid. You have the option to open the grid in Smart View. You can use tags to collaborate with your colleagues more effectively. You can add tags in the comments box for an insight. Use hashtags to tag insights with a custom label. For example, you can tag a set of insights for Sales Team Review by adding the hashtag Sales Review. You can use that to tag a user or group. To learn more, visit docs.oracle.com.